Your softness is not a weakness, it's a weapon. Welcome to the Soft Girl Era podcast, where we unlearn survival, rediscover softness, and reclaim the joy, rest, and freedom we deserve without guilt, without apology, and without explanation. I'm your host, LeAnne Dolce, pronounced Dolce, like sweet softness whispered in French. And I am your guide from burnout to boundaries, from doing to being, from strong to soft, and loving every single second of it. Today, I had the absolute honor, the profound privilege of sitting down with Katrina Ivy, a visionary leader, entrepreneur, and advocate who is fundamentally transforming how Black professionals and entrepreneurs think about power, success, and sustainability. Katrina's work is not just reshaping the narrative around what it means to lead with intention and protect your peace. She is actively dismantling the toxic systems that have convinced us that our worth is measured by our exhaustion. She is building a movement that honors our nervous systems as much as our bank accounts. Her insights are not just inspiring, they are revolutionary. And I cannot wait to share what we discussed in our conversation. Let me start by saying this. For so long, we have been told that our worth is tied to how much we endure, how much we produce, and how much we sacrifice for others. We have been conditioned to believe that strength means never breaking, never resting, never saying no. We have been taught that if we are not grinding, we are not growing. If we are not hustling, we are not worthy. And for Black women especially, this narrative has been amplified, weaponized, and internalized in ways that have left us exhausted, depleted, and disconnected from our own joy. But here's what Katrina Ivy shared with me that I want you to really, really sit with. Your soft girl era as a Black professional or entrepreneur is not about doing less or becoming passive. It is about radically redefining power as peace, reciprocity, and alignment, not hustle, struggle, and burnout. This is not about opting out of ambition. This is about opting into a version of success that does not cost you your health, your relationships, or your sanity. Katrina explained that the soft girl era is deeply intentional and disciplined. It means being highly selective with where you place your energy and who gets access to you. It means refusing to chase clients, relationships, or opportunities that do not reciprocate your value. It means embodying the energy you say you want, healthy communication, emotional safety, and abundance, rather than trying to manifest from a place of chaos or self abandonment. This perspective challenges the idea that softness is weakness. Instead, it positions softness as a high performance strategy for Black professionals and entrepreneurs who are tired of overworking, proving, and constantly living in survival mode. Now, let me share three key insights from my conversation with Katrina Ivy that I want you to carry with you long after this moment ends. First, softness is a boundary, not a personality trait. Your soft girl era is about how you allow yourself to be treated by clients, colleagues, team members, and even by yourself. It looks like saying no to work that drains you, even if it pays well. It looks like refusing to argue or over explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. It looks like choosing reciprocal spaces where your energy is matched and respected. Katrina emphasized that boundaries are not walls, they are filters. They help you discern who and what deserves access to your time, your talent, and your emotional bandwidth. And here's the thing, when you start setting boundaries, some people will not like it. They will call you difficult. They will say you have changed. And you know what? They are right. You have changed. You have decided that your peace matters more than their comfort. And that is not selfish, that is sacred. Think about it this way. Every time you say yes to something that drains you, you're saying no to something that could fill you. Every time you over explain your boundaries to someone who refuses to respect them, you are teaching them that your limits are negotiable. And every time you stay in a space that constantly triggers your nervous system, you are choosing familiarity over freedom. Second, you must become the energy you want to attract, especially in business. If you desire healthy collaborations, aligned clients, and calm success, you cannot lead from chaos, people pleasing, or constant self doubt. This means doing the inner work to improve communication, tone, and conflict resolution. It means addressing trust issues and insecurities that show up in how you lead teams or negotiate deals. It means building systems in your life and business that support ease, not emergency. Katrina shared that so many of us are trying to manifest abundance while operating from a place of scarcity. We are trying to attract peace while living in constant stress. We are trying to build healthy businesses while our own nervous systems are dysregulated, and it does not work. You cannot call in what you are not willing to embody. You cannot attract what you are not willing to become. This is where the real work happens, not in the vision boards or the affirmations, but in the daily choices you make about how you show up, how you communicate, and how you treat yourself when no one is watching. It is in the moment when a client disrespects your time and you choose to enforce your boundary instead of shrinking to keep the peace. It is in the moment when you feel the urge to overwork to prove your value and you choose rest instead. It is in the moment when you recognize that the energy you are putting out is chaotic and you pause, breathe, and recalibrate. Third, your nervous system is an asset. Protect it like you protect your revenue. You cannot build sustainable wealth while living in chronic stress. Soft living is not a trend. It is a risk management strategy for Black leaders navigating racism, sexism, and overwork. This includes honoring your intuition when your body says this client, partnership, or environment is not safe. It includes leaving spaces, jobs, partnerships, deals that constantly trigger fight or flight. It includes choosing peace, even when ego wants you to argue, prove, or overperform. Katrina reminded me that our bodies keep the score. You can ignore the signs, the headaches, the insomnia, the anxiety, the burnout, but your body will not let you forget. And when your nervous system is constantly in survival mode, you cannot access creativity, clarity, or connection. You cannot make sound decisions. You cannot lead effectively. You cannot build anything sustainable. So, protecting your nervous system is not self care, it is business strategy, it is leadership, it is survival. Now, let me share three real world examples that illustrate these principles in action. Let's talk about Miley Teal, the founder of Curl Box, a monthly subscription service for natural hair products targeting Black women consumers. Miley built a multi-million dollar brand by intentionally rejecting the do everything, be everywhere grind, and instead focusing on alignment, intentional work, and clear boundaries. Before Curlbox, Myleik worked in PR and entertainment, where overwork and constant accessibility were normalized. She has spoken about learning through hard experiences that she needed to build a life and business where she was not constantly in crisis mode. That lesson informed how she structured Curlbox and how she mentors other Black women entrepreneurs. Malik created a subscription based model that allowed predictable revenue and controlled growth instead of chasing every opportunity. She used her podcasts and social media to repeatedly emphasize boundaries, rest, and alignment, turning her philosophy into part of the brand's culture. She delegated and built a team rather than centering the business solely around her grind and availability. She became selective about partnerships, choosing brands and collaborations that were aligned, reciprocal, and respectful of her audience. The outcome? Curlbox became a highly recognized brand in Black hair care with consistent revenue and strong community trust. Miley became a go to voice on intentionality, boundaries, and soft life principles for ambitious Black women through her talks and podcast content. She demonstrated that a Black woman can build a high growth company without glorifying exhaustion or toxic hustle. Malik's journey models for Black women entrepreneurs that you can insist on ease, alignment, and boundaries while creating financially successful businesses. Her story supports the idea that your soft girl era is a strategic framework, not a personality aesthetic. Next, let's talk about Renee Blewett, a Brooklyn based brand strategist and filmmaker who created the documentary She Did That, which highlights the journeys of Black women entrepreneurs, including Lovey Ajayi, Lisa Price of Carol's Daughter, and Melissa Butler of The Lip Bar. Her approach emphasized storytelling, emotional wellness, and community as essential components of sustainable success. Renee initially started as a PR and brand strategist focused on Black women's beauty and lifestyle brands. Over time, she saw a gap in how Black women entrepreneurs' stories were being told, often focused only on hustle and triumph, not on what it cost them emotionally. This insight led her to create a documentary that foregrounded the inner experience, aligning directly with the soft girl era's focus on emotional truth and self preservation. She centered authentic, vulnerable storytelling, allowing Black women to share not just their wins, but their fears, exhaustion, and mental health struggles. She used the film as a platform to normalize conversations about rest, emotional care, and support systems in entrepreneurship. She leveraged digital distribution platforms and partnerships to ensure the film reached Black women globally, building community instead of pushing a solo grind narrative. She Did That has been screened globally and streamed widely, becoming a reference point for Black women who want to see themselves represented in entrepreneurship. The film inspired conversations about sustainable success, boundaries, and redefining strength as softness plus strategy, not endless sacrifice. This story illustrates how storytelling can be used to shift the culture away from glorifying grind and toward honoring rest, mental health, and a more soft, intentional way of doing business. It validates the message that Black women can lead, build, and succeed without suppressing their emotional needs. Finally, let's talk about the NAP Ministry, founded by Tricia Hersey, an organization that examines the liberating power of naps and advocates for rest, especially for Black people, as a tool of resistance against capitalism and white supremacy. Tricia's work aligns strongly with the soft girl era philosophy, viewing rest, ease, and nervous system care as strategic and necessary, not optional or lazy. Tricia's work is informed by her background in theology, Black liberation studies, and her own experiences with overwork and burnout. She began experimenting with community nap spaces and realized how profoundly rest impacted Black people's emotional and spiritual health. This evolved into the NAP ministry, which blends art, activism, and wellness. The NAP ministry uses public installations, workshops, and online teachings to reframe rest as a human right and a spiritual practice, not a luxury. Tricia explicitly encourages Black people to set boundaries with work, grind culture, and overcommitment, and to listen to their bodies and intuition around exhaustion. She challenges capitalist productivity norms and encourages building lives and businesses that honor cycles of rest and restoration. The NAP ministry has gained widespread visibility and sparked global conversations on rest, especially among Black women and Black professionals. Many Black entrepreneurs and leaders now reference Tricia's work as a catalyst for restructuring their schedules, setting boundaries, and stepping away from grind culture. Her philosophy is often used in coaching, wellness, and leadership spaces as a framework for sustainable success. The NAP Ministry offers a concrete framework for one of the core themes we discussed. Your nervous system is an asset. It demonstrates with real world impact that choosing rest and softness is not opting out of ambition. It is a radical act of self preservation and a foundation for more sustainable leadership and entrepreneurship. So, here is what I want you to take away from this conversation with Katrina Ivy. Your softness is not a liability in your professional journey, it is your leverage, it is your power, it is your strategy. And here is my challenge for you to step fully into your soft girl era as a Black professional or entrepreneur. What is one relationship, one expectation, or one habit you are willing to release this week so that your life and business feel more aligned with peace, reciprocity, and ease? And when will you put that boundary in place? I want you to write that one thing down. Choose a specific day and time within the next 7 days to act on it. Share it with a trusted friend, as a mentor, or accountability partner, so you are not trying to do this shift alone. Because here's the truth: you deserve a life and a business that feels good, not just looks good. You deserve to lead without losing yourself. You deserve to build without burning out. And your soft girl era is not about becoming less, it is about becoming whole. This is not permission to rest. This is a demand that you stop abandoning yourself in the name of productivity. This is a disruption of every lie you have been told about your worth being tied to your output. This is your invitation to step into the most powerful version of yourself, the soft one, the boundaried one, the one who refuses to negotiate her peace for anyone's approval. Your softness is not a weakness, it is a weapon, and it is time you wielded it.